Welcome to Smashterpieces, a casual walk through the history of the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate roster. My name is Joe.
And my name is Matt.
And if you're new here, what we are doing on this show is we are playing one game for every character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, from 1984's Duck Hunt to 2019's Fire Emblem Three Houses. And today's episode, I'm so excited. We finally get to talk about him. It is the game representing fighter number 72, the 2018 PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch game, and PC, I guess, too. It's everything. It came out on everything.
We don't cover a lot of multi-platform games on this show, I guess.
We really don't. I didn't have a plan for that. Oh, well. It is representing fighter number 72, Goku, 2018's Dragon Ball FighterZ.
And, do you, remember the energy of when this game was first announced?
I do, mostly, because it was, I remember the general tone was, oh my god, we're gonna get a good Dragon Ball fighting game.
Well, it wasn't just that. It's when it was first announced, we just got, 2 screenshots of it. And, I remember the joke at the time on Twitter was, 2 screenshots were all it took for people to quit their entire career in other games and commit to Dragon Ball FighterZ, because those 2 screenshots, its Arc system works, the game looks exactly like the anime, and it just sounds like a dream come true.
Yeah, and it turns out, hey, they killed it. This game's so good.
Yes, so it's very interesting in how they decide, they kind of went with a slant where this is a very beginner-friendly fighting game. The most complicated command input you're doing is a single quarter circle.
Yeah, and even I can do a single quarter circle. That doesn't mean I'm good at the game. I'm terrible at Dragon Ball FighterZ, but I also have the ability to come at this with, if you weren't listening last time, or you didn't listen to the last episode, the Doom episode during the pre-show, Dragon Ball is my favorite piece of fiction ever made. So this game is incredible for someone like me, even when I'm really bad at it.
It's a little disappointing. I played a lot of Arc Sys fighting games before, and they usually have better tutorials than this game has, I think. I'm not huge on the tutorials in Dragon Ball FighterZ. I should probably just point out, I haven't played Dragon Ball FighterZ a lot since launch, and it's changed a lot since launch.
Yeah, when we sat down to play it again to record this episode, they had just added assist types, which was not a thing that was in the game at launch, and it took 2 years for them to put those in the game.
Yeah. So I don't know, maybe there's a better tutorial now, but I remember at launch there was not a very good tutorial. If there was one at all.
Which is kind of surprising, because one of the things that Arc System Works said when they were announcing this game and in interviews about the development of this game, was that they didn't want to make it as complicated as Guilty Gear or BlazBlue, because Dragon Ball has a bit of a wider audience than Guilty Gear or BlazBlue.
And they succeeded at that, I think. It's it is definitely more of a wide audience fighting game without compromising on how good it is, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. I still remember, I think it was Thanksgiving last year. I brought my PS4 because I wanted to show some games to some people, and I popped in Dragon Ball FighterZ, and my 5-year-old cousin and his dad, that has never touched a fighting game, I'm pretty sure. He plays some games, but first-person shooters and stuff like that. And they both just played for an hour and had a great time, and cool things were happening on screen, despite the fact that neither of them knew what they were doing. And I think that's a sign of a really good, the fact that there is that, but then there is also, actual depth. I fought our friend Zero and got utterly annihilated at one point without even landing a single hit. Whew.
I fought our friend Zero and summoned Shenron.
Yeah, I did see that. That was sure a thing.
Which is that's a really cool game mechanic, by the way. Do you understand the full details of how it works?
I believe it's once you land an auto combo, and there's also other ways to do it.
So you need to have the 7 Dragon Balls collected, which I think the way that happens is if like a combo finishes and like the number in the ones place it matches up with the number of one of the Dragon Balls, you get it. And when the Dragon Balls are collected, they're collected for both players. So once all 7 Dragon Balls are collected together, then you have to land a full auto combo with a full like 7 super meter.
Oh, geez, I didn't know the super meter part.
Yeah, so it's not as easy as it sounds, and yet it happened twice at Evo in 2018.
Oh man, all of the top 8s for the Evo since this game came out for Evo, because it happened in 2018. Didn't it happen last year too in 2019?
I don't think Shenron happened last year, but last year we got like the rematch, Sonic Fox versus Goichi.
Yeah, Sonic Fox versus Goichi is the greatest thing to come out of this game, and that's me saying this as somebody that would die for Vegeta. And I think that's my favorite thing to come out of this game is that rivalry, because it's so wholesome. It's the most wholesome rivalry that has ever existed on Earth. Sonic Fox is one of the nicest human beings in video games right now. One of the coolest folks. So they are awesome all on their own. But then you have Goichi, who's just Sonic Fox's rival as of 2018. They fought one top 8 one time, and now they're suddenly like the greatest rivals that fighting games have ever known.
And that came just from Dragon Ball FighterZ, right? Like before this, Sonic Fox was mostly known for competing in NetherRealms games like Mortal Kombat and Injustice.
I believe so, yes. Because they still play Mortal Kombat, I believe.
Yeah, I think they won, or at least they got in the grand finals for Mortal Kombat at EVO 2019.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my favorite thing to come out of this game outside of just you mentioned it earlier, but like it looks exactly like the anime. It looks so good. It's such a beautiful game.
Yeah, and the visuals in Super Moves are made to like perfectly match panels from the manga.
It's so good. So, tell me, who do you like to play the most?
So my usual team is Frieza, 17, and Videl right now. Videl, she's like the only DLC character that I bought because I was like, oh, I'm not gonna like buy the season passes for this one. I'm just gonna buy the characters that I specifically care about. And given that I've never seen any of the movies or watched Super, it's pretty much just Videl.
For me, right before we played, I was like, oh, I should finally buy any of the DLC because I'm broke, and so haven't been buying it as it came out because I don't have any money, and this DLC is expensive. And so I ended up buying Kefla, who's the latest one to come out. I also bought the super version of Broly, because that's the good Broly, that's a character. I bought 17 because 17 is super cool, and I bought Videl because Videl, she's the closest
Videl's
I'm gonna
also
get.
super cool.
She's the closest I'm gonna get to Chi-Chi, apparently.
Yeah, so there are characters that should be in this game, I think, that just like, I don't know if it's Arxis or Toei, but one of them's cowards.
Chi-Chi needs to be in the game. Roshi is...
So Master Roshi specifically, I'm confident he will be in this game someday. It's just the kind of thing where it's like, you can't put all your heavy hitters up front. You have to save some of them. So I feel like Roshi's the one that they're saving. Like, that's where it's going.
Because he's in the Tournament of Power. He is the only member of the Tournament of Power team that is still not in the game. Yeah, that's right, baby. I watched all of Super. Jiren sucks.
Watch us like in the week between now and when this episode releases, Master Roshi gets announced for FighterZ.
I will take that. I will take this curse. We're transferring our curse of like Nintendo consoles being put on to the Switch Online service and transferring it over to Anime Fighter DLC.
Okay, so right now it is March 22nd, 2020. If Master Roshi is announced for DLC before this episode's release, then it's because of us. You're welcome.
Yeah, we did it. We finally fucking did it. And also Chi-Chi. Please put Chi-Chi in the game.
Mm-hmm.
She's a fighter. She's a fighter. She fights.
Can
put
she
Chi-Chi
fly?
in the game. I don't think she can.
Flying is literally a gameplay mechanic.
I don't think she can, but
and it's like for in the case of Videl, because she can't use key moves. Like they threw in the Great Saiyaman who just comes in and does a thing when she would have used a key move. But I can't think of any way that they could replace the flight to put Chi-Chi in the game, to be honest.
To be fair, I don't think Roshi can fly either. And I don't think Hit can fly.
I mean, I've never watched Super, so...
Canonically, I don't think Hit can fly.
Doesn't Roshi have something that lets him effectively fly?
I mean, he's the one that gave Goku the flying Nimbus.
I mean, so they could do that, probably, right?
Possibly. I don't know. And Chi-Chi can ride the Nimbus too, I believe, canonically.
That's true.
But yeah, it's... those are the two characters, I think, that are missing the most. I'm sure there's more than that. There's like... I kind of wish that instead of Kefla, it was Caulifla. And that is such a weird, like... I wish it was this and not that, because she's still effectively in the game. You haven't watched Super, but about 98% of Kefla's personality comes from Caulifla, but Caulifla is just a lot cooler. I don't know how to like explain it. She's way cooler. Kefla's like the only like character that comes off as something that needs to be, I guess, top, maybe top. I don't know. Who knows?
Well, there's at least one more Goku that we can get, so.
Which Goku? Is it Super Saiyan 3 Goku?
We don't have a 4 yet, do we?
4 shows up as part of GT Goku's special.
Okay, well, I guess in that regard, then so does 3.
Yeah, 3 also shows up as yeah. And I think that's why those two Gokus aren't in. I think they have actually effectively run out of Gokus unless they go for Super Saiyan God Goku.
That's true. So is Super Saiyan God Goku in the game in any form?
I don't believe he is.
Okay, so then yeah, there we go. Super Saiyan God Goku.
All right, we found the one.
We got one more Goku.
And Goku does use Super Saiyan God every once in a while, because it the way they explain it in the show is it actually effectively uses less energy than Super Saiyan Blue. And so if Goku needs to be super strong, but also doesn't have the energy to have prolonged like use of Super Saiyan Blue, he goes into that.
Is Super Saiyan Blue as dumb in the show as I personally feel like it is?
Well, tell me what you personally feel it is that makes it as dumb.
So obviously Dragon Ball is like power creep the manga, but it's like for Super Saiyan Blue, it feels like power creep for the sake of power creep. Like they set out with the goal of power creep, and Super Saiyan Blue was what they came up with.
So Super Saiyan Blue is basically Super Saiyan God is not actually Super Saiyan. It's just turning your energy into divine energy, which automatically makes you way stronger in the first place. But it's just a different type of energy. And then Super Saiyan Blue is they found out how to go into Super Saiyan while in Super Saiyan God. And
but
that's what Blue is. Didn't
Goku need like 6 other people to support him to go Super Saiyan God?
So the way they explain it is that Super Saiyan, the first time, yes. And also, so the first time, yes. And then he and Vegeta went and trained with Whis. And Whis just sort of taught them how to tap into that without the use of that. So, because Whis is a magic boy and can do whatever the fuck he wants, there's a character to put it. Don't actually put Whis in the game. I never want to see Whis fight ever. That would ruin Whis.
Well, he fought in Xenoverse.
Yeah.
But Xenoverse is like a fake video game.
Yeah, that's stupid. Don't let Whis fight. He shouldn't fight. There's a scene in the Broly movie where Broly, like, they have to go and do something. And so they teleport away and Whis is just there alone with Broly. And Broly, who is at this point the canonically strongest opponent they have ever fought, is like attempting to hit Whis, and Whis is just sort of dodging every hit while laughing like, oh, you almost got me. It's such a good scene. Anyways, Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Yeah, so Dragon Ball FighterZ, like when it came out, it was like finally we have a good like a really good Dragon Ball game, which we had not had in a very long time.
Sure had.
And
Xenoverse
like nowadays,
Xenoverse people like because you can create a
Ball.
Character. Well, it's also because you can create a character. Everybody's always wanted to like make a Saiyan OC and fucking go Super Saiyan.
That's not new to Xenoverse though.
Is it not? Because I don't remember any other game that's done that.
Couldn't you do it in Dragon Ball Online? Which Xenoverse is low-key a sequel to?
Maybe. Few people know that Dragon Ball Online existed.
I know, but it is kind of a sequel to Dragon Ball Online, and Mira and Toa are both from that game, which they're not in FighterZ yet. They're probably coming to FighterZ, right?
Probably not. Honestly, they seem to be sticking with characters from the anime because it is heavily based on the anime, whether that be Z or GT or Super, because apparently OG Dragon Ball doesn't exist, so we've been told.
Yeah, we did Kid Goku, but we made him from GT, so we didn't have to acknowledge the OG Dragon Ball.
Like, they went and pulled, like, he's the only GT character in the game currently. I'm sure Omega Shenron is coming eventually. Like, that's unavoidable. But, like, you could have just put regular Kid Goku, but regular Kid Goku can't go Super Saiyan 4. That's why.
It's so dumb.
It's really dumb. I wish that video games would acknowledge, like, I'm playing Dragon Ball Z Kakarot right now. Well, not right now, but you get what I mean. I'm playing it currently. Been playing it very slowly since launch. And one of the things that, despite the fact that I do enjoy this game, that really, really stands out to me is I think it would fit better as a Dragon Ball game, like an OG Dragon Ball game. Like, because I think that world gives itself over to being an RPG more than Z does.
Yeah, but Z sells.
Yeah, the problem is original Dragon Ball doesn't have Super Saiyan, and so you can't, do that.
Yep. Well, you could do what the manga did and just make it one continuous story.
Yeah, don't separate them. They totally could have and should have done that.
I guess that gets into the problem of like, the big thing that the game that the series is known for would be like late game.
I mean, it still took me like 15 hours to get to Namek.
Yeah, but like it would be longer if they covered OG Dragon Ball. And it's like they did something. I don't think you ever played Xenoblade X, but you know how in Xenoblade X, like the selling point of that game was the mechs.
Yes.
If you get the mechs 40 hours in Xenoblade X.
Oh, I see. That's a little weird.
It wasn't like I know people that like they put a ton of time into the game, gave up on it, and had not gotten to the mechs.
Beautiful.
And then when you get the mechs, they can't even fly right away.
But yeah, fighters, that's another thing that I think should be in the game is I think they need more original Dragon Ball characters. They need Tao, at the very least, Tao Pai Pai. I think he'd fit perfectly.
I don't know original Dragon Ball very well, I'm going to be honest with you.
Maybe make Demon King Piccolo his own character? That could work, I think.
They've got 8 Gokus. They can have 2 Piccolos. It's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, though, like, FighterZ is immaculate. It is a fantastic game. My team, I never said this. The team I was playing with today was because I wanted to test out my DLC characters. So the team I was playing with for most of the thing while we were playing for this episode was 17, Videl, and either Broly or Kefla. Those two got traded out a lot. I like 17 a lot. 17 is a lot of fun. Which, did you buy 17?
Me? No.
Then how did you have 17?
Oh, did I say 17 earlier? I'm sorry, I meant 18.
Ah, okay. That makes more sense. Yeah, you said 17 earlier.
Okay.
18 is also pretty good. I think in the past, before this, I had played a lot of Cell, and I think Vegeta was also up there. Krillin might have also been on my team.
Vegeta was on my team until Videl came out.
Yeah, so it's just so speaking as somebody that is coming at this less with oh man, fighting games, because I've said in past episodes, I don't feel qualified to talk on what makes a fighting game good, because I don't fucking know. I just play them. I smash buttons with my fingers like a complete charlatan. That's what I am when I pick up any fighting game. But as a Dragon Ball fan, this is without a doubt the best Dragon Ball game that has ever been made, ever.
Yeah, that is pretty much hands down, I think. Because even back in the old days when we had Legacy of Goku and stuff like that, those were still, they were good for a licensed game, but they were never really great.
I played the shit out of Legacy of Goku as a kid. As an adult, let me tell you, it sucks.
Yeah, so it's FighterZ is the first Dragon Ball game that was more than just good for a licensed game. It is a great game.
Yeah.
And it's a fighting game, no less.
Yeah. Which, how did it take so long to get enough, so on the SNES and stuff, there were traditional Dragon Ball fighters, traditional 2D fighting games. I believe they're called Super Butoden, Extreme Butoden, something along those lines.
And one of them actually came out in America before the anime did.
Yeah. And so,
which is funny because it was GT era in Japan.
Yeah, it sure fucking was. Man, we got that anime real late. And so I don't know what took so long to get another big budget traditional 2D fighter, and whoever decided that ArcSys were the ones who needed to go for that, I hope they got a raise.
Yeah, ArcSys is basically immaculate as far as fighting games go. The only thing that they really don't do properly is that they still use delay-based netcode, and even then, they just confirmed that Guilty Gear Strive is going to have rollback. So it's oops, hey, perfect fighting game developer here.
And so my favorite thing that this has led to in terms of that is the whole narrative now of oh, who should make a fighting game based on this anime? ArcSys.
Yeah.
ArcSys should make a fighting game based on every anime. JoJo? ArcSys. Fate? ArcSys.
It's funny, both of those anime have had fighting games. Neither of them were made by ArcSys, but one of them was made by Capcom.
Yeah, but who cares? ArcSys.
So this started when they did Persona 4 Arena, right? They didn't do licensed fighting games before that, right?
I want to say that was the first one, yeah.
Obviously they had BlazBlue, they had Guilty Gear, they had their own franchises. But I think Persona was the first licensed fighting game that they did. And then that was probably what got them noticed for Dragon Ball.
Potentially.
And then that eventually led into they helped development on French Bread's games, Melty Blood, Uniclear, stuff like that, and then
were handed all the money on Earth to make Granblue.
Yes. And Granblue is a very similar game to Dragon Ball, by the way. Obviously, it doesn't play like Dragon Ball because Dragon Ball FighterZ is made specifically to play like Dragon Ball.
Mm-hmm.
And Granblue, I've never played Granblue Fantasy, but I assume it does a very similar thing. I mean, it's got freaking cooldowns like an RPG does. So I can only assume that has to be like playing Granblue. And back in Persona 4 Arena, they handled the Persona systems of first of all having the Persona break and all that, and having the one mores and the all out attacks. ArcSys knows how to adapt an existing franchise into fighting game mechanics in a way that no other, I guess I can't really say for certain that no other company does, but it's they do it so well that it's just if you ask, oh, who should make this fighting game? ArcSys.
I think the only developer that is on par with how good ArcSys is at taking another genre and turning it and making it work in a fighting game is the Smash team.
Yeah. It's like they really are that good.
So, yeah, the fact that this game is as good as it is just, it's not surprising, but it's also a miracle at the same time. It's a weird in-between area.
Yeah, it's not surprising in hindsight.
Yeah. But anyways, I don't have a lot more to say about the game outside of, like, I don't think either of us touched story mode because who cares?
I tried. So I was like, okay, a couple days ago, I was like, okay, can I marathon through this so that I can unlock 21? No.
Yeah, it's long. It's apparently really, really long.
It's like 10 hours, I think. Which, yeah, that's not that long.
For a fighting game story mode, that is really long.
Well, yeah, but like in the grand scheme of things, it's not that long, but it's also just like, oh god, it's so boring.
Yeah, the only good thing about the story mode in Fighters is some of the cutscenes where it's just characters talking about stuff. Like, I think one that I saw really early on was Cell and Nappa, and I don't remember who else, but they were all sitting around talking about how useless Yamcha is while Yamcha is sitting right there. And they're all just in a circle like, what's Yamcha gonna do? Is Yamcha gonna die again? Is he gonna be a worthless little bitch again? And Yamcha's just like, I'll show you. I'm gonna show you. And then Yamcha was top tier for the first, like, 3 months of the game.
Yeah.
And there's also one where they're talking, like, Vegeta and Goku are talking to Frieza. And Goku's just like, or Frieza's like, all right, so for the time being, I'll just decide that you two work for me because we have to get rid of that woman, talking about Android 21. And Goku's like, all right, but I don't want to do any of those weird poses. He's like, what? What are you talking about? He's like, the Ginyu Force. They always do all those weird poses. She's like, and Frieza's just like, I don't order any of my men to do that. The Ginyu Force just decided that's something they wanted to do.
Yeah, that's just Ginyu.
And that was a really good, like, just Frieza sighing and be like, look, man, I think it's weird too. I can't tell them not to do it. What am I going to do? Kill my best soldiers? Frieza's so good. Frieza's such a good character.
It's weird. The weird thing about the story mode, like, story, though, is that, like, the way that they handle the player as, like, a spirit that jumps back and forth between fighters, and they can't fight unless the spirit is within them, and that's how they explain the tag fighting mechanics.
Oh, my God.
Which, overall, I don't think that needed to be explained.
Yeah, I don't think you needed to explain that. Just... You have to tag people in because it's a tag fighter. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why.
That's like if you're playing Zelda. Hey, explain why Link can't jump.
Yeah.
Like have an entire cutscene dedicated to why his knee, he has arthritis in his knees, so he can't jump.
Or like having to explain why Mario can jump so high. Like, he has springs in his shoes. I don't know. He's Mario. He can jump high. That's how it is. That's how it works. It's yeah, pointless description where it's not needed. Anyways.
I guess we might as well ask also, while we're on the story mode, is the original character for this game, Android 21.
She's cool. I like her a lot. I love her design. I've never played as her because she requires going through, I believe.
So you either have to travel back in time and pre-order the game,
yeah,
or play the entire story mode.
Yep, those are the two. And also, that's the only way to get traveling back in time to pre-order. Is also, I believe, the only way to get Super Saiyan Blue, Goku, and Vegeta. I don't think you can buy. I don't think you can buy them now.
I mean, you can still get them in game.
Can you? I'm pretty sure they were specifically entirely pre-order bonuses.
Well, there's no way. There's no way an entire character in a fighting game only exists as a pre-order bonus.
I have no idea. This is what I remember hearing. I don't know for sure. I certainly don't have them. But yeah, I think Android 21 is really cool. She shows up in Kakarot very briefly, which is fun. It's just a cameo. You don't get to fight her, or at least as far as we know. They might add that later.
Yeah, you can unlock Super Saiyan Blue, Goku, and Vegeta just with in-game currency.
Okay, that's good. That's the other character that needs to be in Fighters. Where's a Raleigh, you cowards? Put a Raleigh in the game.
No, that'd be like, you can't, no.
A Raleigh would be amazing.
This game has to be balanced.
I'm looking at Beerus right now. No, it doesn't. Respect
and you
canon.
just said, don't put Whis in.
Well, don't put Whis in because I don't want to see him fight because that would ruin it. It's not because Whis is super strong, because he is, but it's more like Whis doesn't fight. I don't want to put him in a fighting game. Don't make him fight. A Raleigh would be amazing. She is my most wanted character. There we go. I said it. Put a Raleigh in the game, you cowards.
Sure.
There's probably multiple people listening to this that don't know who the hell a Raleigh is, and I'm not going to explain it. Look it up. Look it up. So we should probably pivot into talking about the soundtrack, because I think we've talked enough about, hold on. One thing I want to give a shout out to. The dramatic finishes.
Oh yeah, they're cool.
They're so cool. Such a good touch. They're so fucking good.
And it's like the way that works is that if you finish with one of the big super moves, then it like extends it a little more to be more true to the anime, right?
Oh no, the dramatic finish, that's a destructive finish. Dramatic finish is when you are playing as two specific characters. Like, let's say you're playing as... Is that what you were talking about? Like, you're playing as Goku and Frieza, and Goku wins, and you've got to be on Namek, I believe, specifically. And it'll play the scene of Goku landing the final blow on Frieza.
Yeah, a more extended version that's more like the anime.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's so cool. Some of them are absolutely rad. I know they took a scene straight out of Broly for his dramatic finish against Gogeta or whatever the fuck you pronounce his fucking name. Vegeta's not as cool as Vegeto. I said it. All right, soundtrack. I think there's only one song that we can start with because it's kind of become the de facto theme of Dragon Ball FighterZ, because it's what introduces like top 8s at EVO. It's the song that most people have covered, and that's the West City stage.
Yeah, I was gonna bring this one up because this is a really good song.
Yeah, this is the most iconic song in the game, I think. 100%. It's super, super good.
Even though it's got like this crazy bass dubstep thing that I usually don't like. Like, it's still like there's some good, like, it almost feels like it's some action spy thriller kind of thing.
Kind of.
But I love it.
With the strings and all the
it's almost like Mission Impossible.
It's absolutely rad. I love it.
Something that I don't think either of us have heard in game is the Android 21 theme. which, like, it almost sounds like a JRPG final boss kind of thing. Like, this song is just like really, really good. It's got like a chanting choir and everything.
Speaking of a chanting choir, you know what else I like? Or I guess they're not a chanting choir. They're more like an angelic choir. But the theme of Beerus?
Oh yeah, that one too. That one goes harder on like the orchestral JRPG kind of theme though.
It has to. You're playing as a god, like a literal god.
Yeah.
And it like, really keeps that feel.
The start of it is like almost like very Star Wars Episode 1 in a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. And it feels very like, it feels cheesy, like it's really cheesy, which I think fits Beerus a lot, because on the outside Beerus is this really serious, oh, I'll destroy your planet if you cross me even a little bit sort of character, and then like you get to know him, it's like, oh no, he's just a goofy asshole who likes to eat.
And then like completely on the other side of the spectrum, Hit's theme.
I was actually about to bring up Hit's theme next too. Yeah, this theme is like comparing this and Beerus's theme is night and day with all the jazz rock.
Yeah,
which
they're completely different songs.
I think fits really well though, because Hit is canonically from a different universe, so his song sounds completely different from everybody else.
Was he the only character in the base roster that wasn't from Universe 7?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, then I can accept that.
Yeah, I don't think... In fact, he is one of 3 characters that is from a different universe in general in the game now. Kefla is also from Universe 6, which is where Hit is from. And then Jiren is from Universe 11.
Isn't Zamasu also from a different
Zamasu,
universe?
Yeah, I believe is from Universe... I don't remember what universe Zamasu is from, but yes, that is true. So he and Goku Black are also from different universes. So yeah, Hit's super rad, and I like to think it's because he's from a different universe. But then yeah, mentioning Goku Black, I don't know. Speaking of characters from different things, I was going to try and segue it into timelines, but it didn't work. Trunks. Theme of Trunks.
So, this one feels like a JRPG boss battle theme that isn't the final boss.
I believe when I did this game for Original Sound Chat last year, Peter described it as, this sounds like the theme of the protagonist. Which kind of fits Trunks.
So I specifically, like, I hear this and it feels like a Tales song. Like, specifically Tales of Symphonia.
I have no comparison to that. I've never played a Tales game.
You should. They're very good.
But yeah, I don't know. I like Peter's description of it's the theme of the protagonist, though. Because, like, Trunks is the protagonist of his story.
I mean, most people are.
He's possibly more the protagonist of his story than literally any other character in the entirety of Dragon Ball.
I guess that's fair. No one else really acts as much of a hero as he does.
Because he doesn't have a fucking choice! It's beautiful. Trunks is great.
He's basically Chrono.
He is kind of Chrono if all of Chrono's friends were killed, and then also he still couldn't beat Lavos. The last song that I really wanted to... Well, no, I have two songs that I want to shout out if you have any others. But
I was going to bring up the Videl theme. It just kind of matches my tastes in a character theme, I think. And also sounds like it's from Sonic Adventure 1.
God.
Specifically, it's Tails' theme from Sonic Adventure 1. I guess it's not really Tails' theme. It's more like the first stage of Sonic Adventure 1, the beach theme.
It does kind of sound like the beach theme. You're not wrong. I agree with that. I was going to shout out because I like his theme simply because he is my favorite character in the entirety of Dragon Ball. I really like Vegeta's theme.
This one also has a very Tails series feel to me.
Again, I don't have a comparison.
It's just, there's something about the way that the guitar mixes with the chords. It's a very specific kind of feeling that I get.
One that I remembered talking about this is I really like Android 18's theme. It's really weirdly low-key and, like, synthy. And I really kind of dig it, honestly.
Hey, this also gives me weird Sonic Adventure 1 feelings. Like, Twinkle Park.
I only have one more. Do you have any others that you want to shout out?
No. I'm spent.
I really like the theme of Yamcha.
This one's more of like a classic fight theme in a way.
This one reminds me of some themes in Yakuza.
I can see that.
A little bit.
Yeah, in my head, I'm feeling like 90s anime OST from this one.
Which, to be fair, Yamcha.
Yeah.
He's one of the few characters in Dragon Ball that's been around since, like, not day one, because he joined a little bit into original Dragon Ball, like maybe 10, 20 episodes in, but he's outside of Goku and Bulma, he has been around the longest.
He's had more staying power, too. Like, even Bulma's not around as much nowadays.
Bulma's around more than Yamcha is.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Well.
Yamcha, he has shown up.
Like I said, I never watched Super.
He has shown up in two ways. So, after the Cell arc, Yamcha kind of just goes like, man, fuck this. I'm out. I'm going to go play baseball. I'm not doing this anymore.
That's fair.
Yeah, he's the smart one. He gets the fuck out of there. So he does not fight during the Boo arc. He kind of retires. And then in Super, when they're putting together the team for the Tournament of Power, Yamcha hears about it and he's like, "Oh, I can't wait till they ask me to come join the team. They got one spot left. Oh man, I'm going to go sit in my apartment and wait excitedly until they ask me to join."
No.
And Par's like, "Why don't you go ask them yourself?" It's like, "I don't want to seem too desperate." They never ask. He's not a member of the Tournament of Power.
Does he ever appear again?
He shows up at one point to, I think Roshi shows up and he's like, "I need to borrow Par for a second." And Yamcha's like, "Oh, okay. Why? I got to train for the Tournament of Power." And I was like, "What? No, but But I was supposed to be the last member of the team." And even when they lose one of their members, they lose one of their members, and they decide on picking a villain before they even consider Yamcha.
Is that when Frieza shows up?
Yes. Because spoilers for Dragon Ball Super that literally don't affect anything. I'm sorry. Their original plan is to put Boo on the team, because why the fuck wouldn't you put Boo on the team? And then Boo falls asleep and they can't wake him up. So they go recruit Frieza from hell before they consider asking Yamcha to join their team. Poor Yamcha.
He's kind of earned it, though.
He's kind of earned it. But that's all I got on Dragon Ball FighterZ and all the soundtrack and all that. It's a good game. It's a very good game.
Practically perfect.
Practically, yes.
Except for, the entire story mode.
Yeah, but it's a fighting game. You can't, what are you going to expect that to have a really good story mode? That doesn't happen often.
I'm trying to think of one.
There isn't one. I'm told BlazBlue has a pretty good story mode, but I don't believe it.
BlazBlue's story mode is just 100-hour visual novel with some fights now and then.
Not even the Persona. I think Ultimax is the closest I've ever played to a good story mode. And even that is I would not go play it again.
Yeah, BlazBlue's story is very much like Persona's. It's just a visual novel, and every now and then you fight.
Sounds about right.
I think people say good things about Grand Blues because Grand Blues story mode is just Grand Blue.
Yeah, that's what I hear as well. But anyways, good game. Let's move on. Let's talk about our next game. Representing fighter number 53, Epsilon, Geno. It is the 1996 Super Nintendo game Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars.
It's really unfortunate that Geno is the only character to ever be removed by a DLC patch. I understand they had to do it after everything that happened. They didn't have much of a choice, but still, it really sucks to see that one.
But that doesn't change that we still have to play it, because he's still technically on the list.
Yep, still numbered.
So, hey, there's that. I've never played Super Mario RPG. I don't know anything about it.
I haven't either. I know that it was, I know it's, people consider Paper Mario to be the spiritual successor to it, and I have played Paper Mario, so I'd say, on the whole, I have an idea of what Super Mario RPG is like.
Because Paper Mario started as Super Mario RPG 2, didn't it? Straight up.
I don't know if it was, 100% supposed to be that, but yes.
Well, no, I believe that was its working title, was Super Mario RPG 2.
Yes.
So, I mean, there was the connection there. I do know that Yoko Shimomura, my god and savior, does this. does the soundtrack to this game because she's amazing.
Yeah. Wasn't it like one of her earliest soundtracks too?
No. Street Fighter 2 would have happened before this.
That's true.
But this would have been pre Kingdom Hearts at the very least.
It's an early Shimomura soundtrack.
Yes. But yeah, this is one of 2 games we get to play with a Shimomura soundtrack to it. Because I don't think there are any others on the list yet. Which is a shame. Yeah, it's and I guess technically Brawl has some Shimomura music in it, but
yeah, so it's this there was almost a song from Mario RPG in Brawl.
Almost. Not quite though.
No.
It's
but the this game, it's a little interesting. It was never released in Europe before Virtual Console.
Yeah, I think I learned that recently actually.
So it was kind of a big deal when it came out on Virtual Console. And I don't know why that was the case. I think it was just how late it came out originally. Because I think the N64 was already out at the time.
I believe that is explicitly the case, yes. The N64 was about to come out, and I believe Nintendo of Europe was like, why would we localize a Super Nintendo game right now? That's stupid. That's a stupid idea.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very similar to how like Fire Emblem had a Super Nintendo game that was released after the Nintendo 64, except that one came out in 2000.
Mega Man 3 came out shortly after Mega Man X came out.
Jesus.
Like, it's all really stupid.
The 90s were wild.
Yeah, it's all really fucking stupid and dumb. Yeah, I don't know anything about this game except I know who Mallow is and I know who Geno is, and that is literally all I know.
It's interesting how like this game has like a really strong cultural relevance to like people who were young at the time and played it when they were younger. But for people our age, who grew up on mostly on like we were alive at the time, but like for the most part we grew up in the 2000s. And for people our age and younger, this game is nothing in the cultural relevance, I think.
Yeah, this game kind of disappeared after a while. Paper Mario completely took over its...
That's probably specifically why. Because Paper Mario happened. And Paper Mario is the one that got a franchise, and Super Mario RPG didn't.
Yeah. So, I mean, hey, it happens. It's happened to other games before, too.
Sadly.
And I don't know. I think it is cool though that this game is a collaboration between Nintendo and Square. Like at the time, 2 of the biggest goddamn companies in video games.
Yeah, and I mean those collaborations always do bring good things. They would collaborate with Capcom later on some Zelda games. They recently gave Mario to Ubisoft to make an XCOM game.
Yeah, that was the weirdest one actually. That's still the weirdest one. Or like Koei got to make Hyrule Warriors, Atlas got to make Tokyo Mirage Sessions, that kind of thing. Like, I like those collaborations, and like, it's weird to think about.
I like when people go over to each other's houses and play with each other's blocks.
Yeah, it's weird to think about today because we just listed like 3 or 4 of them that happened in the past 5 years. But this isn't a thing that used to happen.
Oh no, it was very rare.
Like, I think the
console wars back then were serious.
The only 2 I can think of are this and the Oracle games, like you mentioned earlier, where Capcom got to pick up and do. And did Capcom do Minish Cap?
I think so. Pretty sure they did.
I think so too. I don't know for sure. I'm gonna go look that up real quick. But like this was a thing that just didn't happen.
I'm sure it happened more than we are aware. But yes, it is absolutely a lot more common nowadays.
But other than that, I have nothing to say about Mario RPG. This is another long one. It's going to be another long one, so strap in. Probably going to be at least a 3-parter if I had to guess.
What is how long to beat say?
17 hours.
It's not too long.
That would put it roughly. That's shorter. That's shorter than Earthbound, so it'll take maybe 2 parts.
Yeah, I'd say we can knock this out in 2 parts.
Yeah, I think we'll be fine. So yeah, hope you're looking forward to hearing that as much as we are looking forward to playing Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. Do you got anything else to say about the game?
No, I mean, like I said, I never played it. But I assume that Paper Mario is somewhat similar, so
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see where that came from.
Anyways, with that, you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all at Smashterpieces. You can find me on Twitter at Litabaga. You can find Matt on Twitter at Grimace Do Menace. You can find most of our Smashterpieces streams every week on Thursday night on twitch.tv/Nintendo World Report. Otherwise, you can find me streaming at twitch.tv/Detective Tobaga, or you can find Matt streaming on Twitch at twitch.tv/Grimace the Menace. You can follow our editor, though he didn't edit this episode. You're editing this episode, I believe. So everybody thank Matt for editing this episode. But usually our episodes are edited by Peter Spezia. You can find him over at Twitter on you can find him over on Twitter at PeteSpeakEasy. So go give him a follow and tell him thank you for usually. Things are kind of nuts right now, so figured we'd give him a little break.
Yeah, I don't know if you've been reading the news.
I wouldn't recommend it. And with that, my name is Joe.
And my name is Matt.
And we will see you next time for our discussion on Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars.
So I specifically, like, I hear this and it feels like a Tales song. Like, specifically Tales of Symphonia.
I have no comparison to that. I've never played a Tales game.
You should. They're very good.
So I hear. Maybe one day a Tales character will be in Smash. Just kidding. No, it won't. Namco apparently doesn't get any other characters. Well, I guess...
Literally fucking recording an episode about Goku as a joke and you won't even give me Tales. You won't even entertain the thought that it might happen.
Beautiful.